So you can see there's not too much damage on the tomatoes. There's one there that's been pruned pretty good, but on this side of the bale row. But boy, did the little lady who came through, the deer, she really went to town. And luckily, these beans will come back, because see, she didn't take them down to stubs. And that one might come back there. But a lot of them, she pruned them right back. I don't know how. I don't imagine they're going to come back. Like this guy here, she really loved the beans. So she went down the row and just kept chowing down on the beans and the tomatoes. But James said there was a little one who came by this morning, and she didn't go after the thing. So we'll see how this goes. And I'll read my poem which I wrote. And this one's kind of different because I wrote it in different parts at different times. So at first, like there's first part that I wrote right after I saw the damage, and then the second part, you know, after I was thinking about it a bit, and then the third part after I was putting up this mesh to protect the garden the rest from the deer the next time she comes through. And well, you'll see how the poem goes. So this one is called Shared Victory Garden, and I wrote it June 25th, 2025, so yesterday, when I found this, the deer damage, and which was quite expected. But you know what's funny is I have never had to protect my own peat bale row from the deer. They have never went after the tomatoes in my peat bale row at my place, and they're there. The deer are there all the time, but for some reason they haven't went after it. And I think it's that I put a lot of nasturtiums. I plant nasturtiums along the edge of my bale row, and the deer don't like eating nasturtium leaves. So I think it just deters them just enough that they leave it alone and they go after other things. But I don't know. I don't know what makes them leave my stuff alone. But the deer went after James's, and he said there was a little one that came by and she didn't go after the tomatoes. And they're still, I didn't protect them totally well. It's just, you know, I could have really wrapped mesh around under the bales and stuff, you know, to make sure they can't get at them at all. But one thing is, they only go after the leaves, the deer. They don't like the fruit. I don't know why. And so it's always frustrating, right, when they eat the tomato plants, when they prune them down in James's yard. And then I'm like, you know, if you just wait until fall, you can have all of them. You can have all the plants that have grown, and I don't care, you know, just you could bring all your friends and mow them down, you know, once I've already harvested the fruit. But since they prune them down before I get the fruit, I get no fruit and they get less plant. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, sometimes you just have to take it as it is and try to deal with it. But so this is called Shared Victory Garden. Sometimes we only get small victories. Today's tomatoes seemed like one of these. A broken-legged deer who lives downtown and often James's yard had mowed some down, severely pruning 20, maybe more. I should have put protection up before that deer took liberties within that row. James likes her, and I'd like to see her go. And then this was the first part, and then there's the second that I wrote. Her leg just hangs, and so I think she'll die. She wants to live. I want to help her try, but I want the tomatoes that I grow. 2 months from now, I'll let the foliage go once I have harvested the fruit that's there. I'd like to find a way for us to share. I've grown this garden just for James and me, and yet this deer is where she's meant to be. It's her ancestral land, and sure's not mine. She hasn't taken all, so I'll be fine, but nearly every bean has been devoured, right down to stumps, and just as each one flowered, she ate some plants, yet left their neighbors be. I wonder if she meant to share with me. If so, it's nice she left some plants for me. Perhaps acceptance is a victory. And then there's the next part, after I put the mesh up. I wrapped the row in garden mesh today. So what was left for me will likely stay. And while I work, some people wandered by. They told me that the deer would likely die since Fish and Wildlife has their sights on her. Once caught, they planned to shoot her dead for sure. So is this victory both small and sweet? At least the deer had something nice to eat. I mean, you gotta feel bad for her, right? Some car would have hit her and broke her leg, and now she's hobbling around, poor thing. And for how long, who knows. But anyway, so now I'll be thinking of her whenever I see things like this in the garden, and this one and that one and that one, you know. But I mean, you can see she took down the tomatoes there, but that one she left behind. I don't know why. Maybe she just missed it. This one, boy, did she ever take that one down. But somehow she left the one there and right growing. And so it's funny, hey? You never know what she was thinking when she did it. Like, I can see that the hoops did seem to offer some protection, or I would think they did, because that one's there, this one's not. But then this hoop didn't protect that one too well, and that one's didn't have a hoop and it's growing. So I don't know. But anyway, it's funny what she left and what she decided to eat. Like, she ate this one bloom that was here on this pansy, yet this one, which I think looks even prettier, somehow she left it. I don't know why. So it's kind of interesting.